Welcome to Season 4 of Song Revolution, where you're going to find great information, interviews, and inspiration to fulfill your passionate calling to write great songs. Hey everybody, John back with another great episode of Song Revolution. We really appreciate you tuning in. You are why we've done this show since 2017. We had a couple of breaks, like when I had a heart attack, but we've been back for a whole year, every Monday with a great new show. So be sure and check out the archives. You can just find that at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com under the resources link. So go check that out. There's some great shows back there if you haven't been watching for very long. And be sure to like and share. That's your tax. You got to like and share. That's the like and share tax for joining us every week. But we really do appreciate you being here. I say every week I love doing this show because I get to have great people on. We do a lot of teaching. We do a lot of encouraging and coaching. But I love doing our interviews. And today's guest has been with us before. In fact, he came to us last year as kind of a complete stranger, and we fell in love with him, and now he is an NCS Records artist with a fairly new single out called Mystery. We released a live version and now a studio version. It's doing incredibly well. He was a 2014 American Idol runner-up. He should have won, but he is an amazing vocalist. He is very soulful, a lot of blue-eyed soul, R&B, incredible vocalist, incredible musician. We actually have released 3 mini courses with this guy, and we have just grown to love him so much. And so we wanted to have Clark Beckham back on Song Revolution. So please welcome Clark Beckham. Hello.
Hi. That was such a clean intro.
Was that cool?
It just...
You know, if I overthink it, it gets weird. Like if I mess up a word, I have to start all the way over. But that was a pretty good one.
Very clean.
I meant it too. I mean, you were new to us last year.
Yeah.
And when you reached out about being on the show and we saw American Idol, it's like, that's always a bit of a hook. But it was like 10 years ago. And I'm like, okay, well, is that old news or whatever? But you were just a wee baby when you were on that. And so you're still... Are you even 18? Are you even legal? Yeah, I don't know. But we just fell in love with you, your humor, just the depth of your musicality and your skill just blew us away, and your heart for teaching and training. And we've just loved working with you, Clark. It's been a fun, I guess has it even been a year yet? I don't know.
No, I don't think it's been a year, but it's been as impactful as a year could be. And it's just been such a gift straight from God that just fell right into my lap.
Yeah.
How generous you guys have been. And the most powerful thing, I think, is just mutual belief in me and in the projects and what I'm doing. And that's been very powerful. So yeah, last time, I mean, that's literally how we introduced each other. Is I wanted to do more podcasts. So I had... my assistant just find all the podcasts that are going on in Nashville and ask if they'd be interested in having me. And that's how it all started.
Ding, ding, ding. Here we are. So it really has been a fun ride. It's been fast and furious, but we are we'll talk about it in a minute, but we're releasing an acoustic EP with some amazing songs that you've been performing live for quite a while now, doing your own R&B, soulful, and you literally have really blue eyes. They talk about blue-eyed soul, but you really do. You really are that. And your range is just stratospheric, and it's always so fun to hear you perform. In fact, was it just last week, we were all together at NRB, the National Religious Broadcasters, and maybe we could just start there a little bit because you performed Mystery, Goodness of God, Great Are You, Lord, and there was a fourth song.
Graves into Gardens.
Oh, yeah, Graves into Gardens. And so your versions of these are so awesome, and you had Kara Fox on cello. She's stunning. She's so great. And Jay Newsome
It's actually Chris
Oh, okay.
Britton or
Okay.
Bitten.
Oh,
I can
okay.
look on my
Forgive me for
phone.
that. I was thinking it was Jay, but it's not. On sax.
Yeah.
And it was so tasteful. It was a combination that I didn't even know if it was going to work, but
Same.
it really did. You really had the whole audience of about 500 people just really right there with you. How was that experience, and how would you describe how you even put that together?
Well, it all kind of happened by accident. And I didn't think that trio would work either. Piano, sax, and cello, I guess quartet, and voice. But what happened is one of my best friends, Nate Powers, was doing all of the video editing, and is kind of his company that was doing all of the media for NRB. And he was just like, hey, I was just talking to one of the higher ups at NRB, and they had a musical guest just drop out, and they're looking for a replacement, and I threw your name in the hat. Would you be interested in that? I said, of course. It's at their closing gala. It's very fancy. It's very nice, and it's a big deal. Would you be down? I was like, absolutely. So then I get on the phone with NRB, and they're like, yeah, we want just kind of an elevated experience of these songs of music playing, obviously Christian stuff, while people are, there for the gala and there's a dinner and everything like that. And I was like, great. And they said, we'll have a grand piano. I was like, perfect. I'll play piano and sing. And I've even got these songs that are worship songs that everybody knows, but done in a way that no one's ever heard before. And they do have more complex chords like R&B and soul and jazz-inspired stuff. And I think it'll be perfect. She's like, great. We really want a horn section with you at first, is what she said. And I was like, piano and horns. And she's like, there's something just to elevate it above just piano. I was like, okay. I was like, what about piano and strings? She's like, that'd be cool. I was like, I think that'd be cool too. Couldn't make that work because of budget stuff. And so the only thing I could figure out is, first I was going to my buddy Jay Newsom, who I was telling you about, to play sax, and he couldn't do it. And he's always been someone that I can just throw in, and he just adds so much value. But even the sax was going to be a challenge because a saxophone is a soloing instrument. It's a monophonic instrument, just like the voice. So when he's supposed to play, because I'm singing the solo where I don't know. And so I was even asking Jay, I was like, can a saxophone player even do this? He's like, yeah, they can do it. And so at first it was just going to be me and Chris, is who I found. Mm-hmm. And I've been so spoiled. We were talking about this earlier. I've been so spoiled with my buddy Jay because his love for God is so obvious when he plays saxophone, and the way that he plays is connected to his expression of his love for God. And he's also one of the most talented saxophone players I've ever heard, period. That's what he went to school for, got a degree, won a bunch of competitions. Like, he's a monster. So when I got used to playing with him, anybody that I hear that doesn't have that connection with God, that history of God that comes to life as they play for all of us to see, it immediately turns me off to their playing. Like, it doesn't do anything.
I mean, we're very used to that connection in someone's voice because it's coming out of their mouth, right? Their lungs, it's your breath in our lungs, so we pray. But, we're used to that. So what I think I'm hearing you say is that there is a real powerful connection and anointing, if you will, between him and the saxophone, so that when he's breathing through that, it's an extension of his own spirit and soul and voice.
100%.
Instead of singing, his instrument is the voice.
100%. And so when I was asking him, like, well, who do I get if you can't do it? He gave me some guys to look at who were all monsters, very successful, playing with like top of the top people, touring. And I would listen to them and I'm like, and I'd ask, I was like, I know this is a very corny and churchy question, but do you know if this guy loves Jesus? And he was like,
It's a good question.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he does a lot of stuff with Christian, artists, and I'm pretty sure he's a Christian. I was like, okay, who else you got? Like, I need some more people. And then he showed me Chris, and I was like, ooh, this guy moves me completely differently. I feel like I know what this is like. And I was like, what does he think about God? And he goes, oh, he loves God. I was like, I thought so, just from hearing him play.
Yeah.
And I promise you, that is not like woo-woo stuff. Like I promise you could line up 10 saxophone players and have them play, and I could tell you I feel like I could tell you who has a love of God that comes out when they
That's
play.
So amazing.
It's so obvious to me. And anyway, so we got Chris, and I was like, all right, it's just going to be me and Chris. And I was thinking, I feel like that's enough. We didn't really have much more room in the budget to add anyone. And so I was sitting talking about it with my wife, Chanley, and she's like, you have to add a cello. You have to. And a couple of the songs that I do, like How Great Is Our God especially, it's very spooky and diminished chord, minor feel. It feels that way.
Spooky worship. It's a new category.
Worship.
Yeah. They're going to add that. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shoot, you're so right. So then we got in touch with Kara, and she's one of the best I've ever heard.
Amazing.
And just her pitch is unbelievable. And we all got there. We had never played together until sound check.
Wow.
I met Chris the day before, and I met Kara the day of at sound check.
You would never have known that because it was seamless. It was flawless. It came across so well in the audience. And like I said, it was a big banquet hall, 500-ish people. You're on this big screens on either side. You looked a little bitty on the stage, but it came across so huge. It was so beautiful and tasteful. Kara, I believe that her cello is an extension of her soul too. It's just crazy what she does. And I just did a video with her Monday on a Good Friday song that's actually out by the time of this airing, called Your Body, Your Blood. And she had done the original arrangement a couple of years ago, actually. And just such an extension of the Holy Spirit through, of course, a cello. I mean, you can't hardly go wrong with cello. It's so beautiful.
It might be the best, it might be the best monophonic instrument.
Okay, full disclosure.
Yes.
I do not like saxophones. They just grate on my nerves.
Okay, hold on. I don't either. 90% of saxophone playing, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. But did you like it in the NRB thing? And I feel like you probably can't.
It was tasteful. That was tasteful.
Very tasteful.
That was tasteful. For me, my wife's been a big fan of smooth jazz, and the song starts off okay. You might have Tommy Emmanuel or somebody doing some nice guitar stuff, and then some saxophone person jumps on there, and they're mellow and it's cool. But by the end of the song, they're screeching. And it's like, turn it off, please turn it off. But, Chris never got that way with your songs at NRB. No. It was nice and it was kind of mellow, but wow.
It's really easy to overplay.
Yeah.
Almost like to talk to hear yourself. Yeah, to talk to hear yourself, hear your own voice. A lot of saxophone players, I feel like, do that. Yeah. They're playing, but it's like, are you adding anything? Or are you just kind of...
Well, you guys did. It came across.
Chris was perfect. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. We'll get right back to the episode in just a second. But if you're a songwriter who wants to grow in their craft, finally finish those songs that have been stuck in your journal for years, and connect and collaborate with Christian songwriters from around the globe, NCS Community is the place to start. We meet every week to offer accountability, training, resources, masterclasses, feedback, and song critiques on things that you're working on. And it's just a great place to connect with other Christian songwriters and encourage each other on the journey of becoming a great songwriter. NCS's mission has always been to empower Christian songwriters worldwide, and we'd love to see you there. So check it out, NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com/community. You can find all the details there right on our website, and we'd love to see you inside NCS community. Check it out.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the acoustic worship sessions album that's coming out, because it's really those 4 songs plus How Great Is Our God, I think. Is that right?
It's How Great Is Our God. Let's see if I can get them all. There's 4.
Bet you can.
How Great Is Our God. Great Are You, Lord. I got them. Graves into Gardens and Goodness of God. That's the project.
Okay. All right. So it's an acoustic sessions project where you are sitting at a piano. We have video and audio, of course. And it's released, first single out this month, the month of April.
Yeah.
And then we'll drop the EP this summer, and then we're going to be doing some more work with you this fall, which we're very excited about. What's been the vision for those songs?
You know, I feel like a lot of my best decisions or best projects, best things that have happened have just kind of happened accidentally. I never went into it thinking, ooh, how can I make Great Are You, Lord jazzy? That makes me want to throw up. I never came into any of these songs like, how can I do this cool and different? Again, just gag reflex immediately. I found these because my main... The genre of music, the style of music that I adhere to would be soul. And
why is that? I mean, not to interrupt too much, but why? Where does that come from? This tall, young, white guy with blue eyes
in Nashville, Tennessee.
And you've worked with Quincy Jones, with Brian McKnight, and Tommy Prophet, who is unbelievable. And so, where does this come from?
Yeah, and my dad was a country singer at the end of his music career, and yet all soul. I mean, I feel like it was just when I was a kid, I'd listened to a lot of music. My parents showed me a lot of music, and my mom showed me oldies, and I loved Tom Jones. I loved Billy Joel and Elton John and the Beatles, and then I heard Al Green. And it was just this
magic.
Oh my goodness. And then I heard Marvin Gaye. And then I heard Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. And it was just like that.
What do you do? Yeah.
That's different. I love all the other stuff. That's something else for me. And it's just was my preference. I just loved that stuff. And then as I continued to play and sing, I would sing that style all the time. But then I would play and
just as a kid. As a young kid. Because you have such a phenomenal range.
Oh, thanks.
So did you think you were developing that even as a kid?
I had a pretty big range when I was a kid. Right when I went into puberty, all of it was gone. And I was like, oh no, my voice will never be like have a big range again. I just had like basically an octave. That was it. It was really very small. And then I took music lessons through Brett Manning's Singing Success program.
Yeah.
And
very
it
famous.
Changed absolutely everything and gave me like an octave and a half on top of it literally changed my life. Now that I'm kind of known as someone with a big range, it's one of my primary, traits, I guess, of my singing, and none of it would have been possible without them. So, but with the love for that music, and then when I was in college, I was playing, and I loved Stevie Wonder was changing my life as a piano player, Billy Joel to his chord progressions. And then you've got Billy Joel songs that I'm learning just the chords of. I'm not really understanding them. I'm just playing the right chords. Stevie Wonder too. And then I'm surrounded by all these jazz majors that are brilliant and they understand all of that stuff, not just how to play it, but why to play it and why it works. And I was just a curious guy, and I just kept asking questions. So I learned music from asking the questions, had a couple great mentors in my life as well around the piano, and then my preferences with Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, Al Green, with some jazz flair in there. When I go to worship God, when it's just me and the piano and him, and I want to sing Great Are You, Lord, the way that I express my relationship and adoration and respect for God comes through in a different way when I have all of the tools that I've gained from learning how to play with all those different styles. And so those come out because he made those chords too. You know, I think we get stuck in the mindset of God is the God of 4-chord songs, and that's it. Anything outside of that is self-embellishment or it's self-seeking perhaps. But I think it's easy to see where we got our wires crossed there. In church, it's very important to lead a congregation well, to have songs that everyone can wrap their minds around, who aren't musicians, who are just everyday people, so we can all sing truth together. It shapes our lives. I mean, that's what worship really is. But where we go wrong is we categorize that type of music as of God, and all the other types of music are not of God.
Secular and
right. And when we do that, we are cutting ourselves off from the beauty of God that is in a flat 5 half diminished chord.
I mean, not to throw shade, but some people believe minor chords are of the devil.
Right.
That,
of course. I mean, it's been going on for thousands of years.
Really? Oh my
Cadences
gosh.
are like different drum rhythms are
right.
demonic. But God invented all of this stuff. And I feel his beauty and his favor and his love in a really well-placed major 7 chord or major 9 chord.
Jesus loves the flat 5.
And Jesus loves the flat 5. That's probably the thesis of my whole point here.
Yeah, you have T-shirts. You have merch.
I do have T-shirts that say that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Clark, man, just to think of capturing with skillful playing, skillful singing. You were humble enough to learn. You knew you had a passion for this kind of genre and style, but you didn't just settle for that. You went through Brett Manning's courses, brilliant. He's helped me a lot in my own singing and probably hundreds of thousands of people. But to learn the technique and the skill on the piano and the guitar. You're a multi-instrumentalist, and to see how skillful you are. And I think a lot of times people settle for where they are. They don't really continue to learn. They feel a passion for writing and for expressing themselves, but they don't really school themselves or really get the necessary skills. But you are a coach and a teacher. You work with us in our programs. We have 3 courses that we've done. It's been a big year for us, hasn't it? It really has. When we think about songwriting from scratch, modern chord progressions, and then the vocal performance mini courses. I talk about how people can really continue to develop themselves in their expression, whether they go into jazz and R&B or not.
Yeah, it's really, you've got people that want to do music as a hobby, and it's just really fun for them. And there's no aspiration to make it a career or to make like a prolific type of experience with it where you're making a lot of art. And that's great. And if that's you, don't even try to make it like this career. Like just be really good at karaoke nights. You know what I mean? Like just sing in the shower and have a ball. Then there are people who say they want a career, they want to aspire to be better, and then it's more fun to talk about that than to do anything about it. And then you've got the people who really want to be the best they can be. They want to make a career out of it. They feel called and they're pursuing it, and they're using all of their resources. Thing is, all three of those people, even the hobbyist, they want to get better. And the belief that the truth that has to be believed is that there is no faster, more efficient, effective way to get better than to learn from someone who's done that thing longer than you have, especially if they've had a lot of success in it.
Mm-hmm.
Every mistake you could possibly make has already been made.
So true.
1,000 times.
That's so true.
And so when you get hyper specific, I really wish I could get my chords to be a little more dynamic. I just want to express different emotions, and the chords that I've got in my toolbox aren't doing it. And we have like a very specific course from someone who's made so many bad chords, so many awful chord progressions,
Right.
and sitting and just toiling away. Like, people don't realize 90% of the process of arranging a beautiful chord progression is arranging an ugly one over and over and over. And then finally you tweak it until it's like, ooh, this is really good. And then
That's so
sometimes
good.
the next day you wake up and you're like, oh, it's awful. What was I thinking? And you go back to the drawing board. And I've made so many mistakes where I've made these courses, whether it's songwriting chords or performance, that cuts through all of those mistakes. And so any course that you take, that's why I love reading so much. That's why I love this building. There are books everywhere, and I just love seeing what they are, because these are all people, whether it's a course or a book or whatever, that have made the mistakes that you don't have to make again. And it's such an easy investment when you think of it that way.
That's so good, because it collapses the learning curve and it compresses the time.
Exactly right.
You don't have to go make the same mistakes Clark's made
Yes.
in chord progressions. I love what you said. You know, a beautiful chord progression is just an ugly one that's been refined
Yes.
over and over. And I could say that about lyric writing too,
Totally.
because that's kind of my focus. And so, you know, with a rewrite, a good song can become a great song.
Yeah.
And with a rewrite, a great song can become a classic.
That's very well said.
And so that's what I'm hearing you say about chord progressions. That's beautiful. Collapse that time. Learn.
Yep. Yep.
So good. So good. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. You're on a flow, but I love
thought that you're exactly right. Very well said. And it really just comes down to, like, do you want to get better or do you want to talk about getting better? There's there's something in Proverbs I was just reading. Two Proverbs that come to mind. It's around chapter 19 or 20. I don't remember exactly where. But one says something like, the plan in a man's heart is like a deep well, but the wise man actually draws from it. And I'm reading through Proverbs right now, and I'm just trying to find where I'm the fool in the equation. And every once in a while, I'll read a proverb that just makes me cringe so bad, which is an indication that I'm the fool.
You're
in
right.
that one.
That's
and
me.
that's been me so many times. And the other one, very similar proverb message, is something like, a fool like thrusts his hand into the food bowl and then doesn't bring the food up to his mouth to eat it. Oh my gosh, how many times have I been so excited about an idea? Just, yeah, let's go for it. And then I just never actually consume it. I never do anything. And when you want to get better, and I don't even mean like I want to take lessons. I want to pay for this course. I want to sit down. I don't want to do a lot of things that I need to do. But if you want to get better, I heard someone say that discipline is not killing your inferior desires. It's letting your superior desires rule over your inferior desires.
That's so good.
So you might not want to sit down for 30 minutes and then a couple hours after that working on the things that you're learning, but your superior desire is to be better forever. And when you get these skill acquisitions from someone like me who's made so many mistakes, I've found what works. It's the most effective way to get better, and then you have that forever. It's the one thing no one can take away from you.
Wow, that is so good. The thing that I love that we share is just that desire to help people be better, to be the better version, the best version of themselves as communicators. And that's why I do what I do. And now you're part of that. And I hear that in your words. I see that in your actions. And it's astounding to me so many times. I'll be very blunt. I have a lot of people that show up around here, or they email me, or they call, and all they want to do is convince me that what they have is amazing, right? They want me to validate what they have. And they always, they say, I just want to send you my song so that you can tell me if I'm good enough. And I was fooled by that for a number of years. And one day I realized that's not even the right question, because odds are, if you haven't been a professional, if you haven't really developed your skills, if you haven't put in your 10,000 hours, you're not good enough. You're not, and if good enough is competing with people who are doing this commercially, whether it's singing or performing or writing, recording, whatever it is, if you haven't put in all those hours, you're not going to measure up on a commercial level. And so what I began to realize, and I've tried to say to people very clearly, is that asking, are you good enough, is not the right question. The right question is, are you called enough? Are you really passionate about Jesus to the point that you will pay any price, that you'll buy courses, that you'll go through coaching, that you'll pay for production? And sometimes often people pay for production before their songs are even ready to be produced, right?
Yep.
And so the right question is, are you called enough to take the right steps? And that's why we have what we have here at Nashville Christian Songwriters, the podcast, and our community, and our programs, and our training, and our coaching, and why we love working with you and putting your music out, because you exemplify a teachable spirit. Somebody who is so hungry and thirsty after God and communicating that love and that worship that you're willing to do anything. And we've seen that in you, and that's the same spirit that we have. And we have so many great coaches now, Clark, that are amazing and are really showing up and bringing their best offering to the clients that we work with. And I consider any day that I learn something to be a great day, even if I learn by failing, if I learn, and that's especially, it's like the ugly chord progression refined. That's my whole life, and I've made so many mistakes, and I've wasted so much time and so much money and so much effort. But if you just hang in there and keep going, you'll eventually get where God wants you to go. It's all about Him yearning through you to bring glory to Himself through the ugly chord progressions.
Right. And I've heard you talk about this before, but the assumption that if God's called us to something, that means we're already good at it.
Yeah.
Is like, what?
That's insanity, really.
Like, what? Well, also, like, what offering is that then? Like, if God's calling you to do something, like if God called Noah to build the ark, and then he had like the world's largest 3D printer and he just pushed a button. You know what I mean? But it's like all the work he did to make it, like every single piece of wood was like faith and commitment.
AI ark construction.
Yeah,
Press
exactly.
a button and there's an ark. Yeah.
Look, God, what I made for you. It's like, no, a lot of times he calls you to something that he knows you're going to have to work on. And in that work, you're going to grow in ways that you couldn't have.
That's just built in, isn't it? I mean, that is it. It's like you pray for opportunity and there's a knock on the door and it's work. It's like, that's really God's way.
Yes. I would much rather God teach me how to fish than give me fish, because I find Him in the process. Like I find Him in failing and in trying and it's that I found also. I've been doing like church, like kind of workshop weekends where I'll lead worship on Sunday, maybe preach, and then like the Saturday, the day before, I'll do like workshops with their team and stuff. And one thing I find across the board with people that are not quite at the level that they could be, and I'm strictly talking potential. Like I see someone, and I'm not saying they're not very good. I'm saying I see how good you can be and you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
They have this attachment to the role that they play, whether it's the bass player or I'm the guitar player in the band or a piano player, or specifically, let's just stick with band members. And then the idea of like, hey, we're going to start filtering in this other person too. And then they get really bent out of shape. Like, well, I want to sing more.
Yeah.
I should be in the front line and that kind of a thing. And that's what God's called me to do. That's been a tough one because like where do you, I think it's obvious to us, like what I want to say, unfiltered, what I feel like would be wrong, not just to say, but probably wrong generally, but just what comes to my mind is like, I don't care how called you feel. If you're not great, like if you can't fill the role well, right. As a leader, as your leader, they wouldn't be doing their job well if they put you on the front line singing.
Yeah.
Like you have, so like where's that disconnect?
Yeah. Maybe just a higher view of themselves than they deserve yet. They have potential, but they've not really put in the hours and the reps to get great so that God is truly glorified. Because, when there's a stinky singer up there who's struggling or not confident, right, it makes everybody ill at ease, and you really are struggling to enter into worship because you're worried about that person up there who's just really not ready to be there.
Right.
I think that's the way songwriting can be as well. And kind of in our world, you have a lot of people that just have yet to put in the reps, and I just keep calling them, please, you are called. You do have potential. You do have some talent. And I keep telling people also, Clark, that I can't give you more talent than God did, but I can help you develop what he did give you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm hearing you say, is you long for them to just step it up and grow in your calling.
Yeah, and I think for me, I really resonate with the tour guide analogy of the reason I want to teach people, I don't even think about it necessarily as I want to help them. I just want to show them how beautiful God is, and how I just want to be like, look how pretty this chord is. Look how easy it is to play that. Isn't that nice? What does that do to you emotionally? Do you have other emotions that you think that could lead you to play other chords? Here's some more chords that you could play. Or you're singing like this. How about you think of it this way? Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that feel so good?
Yeah.
That's what I think draws me to teach, to show people stuff.
And I think you're going to demonstrate that for us in a moment at the end of the show. Yeah. Are you going to do Goodness of God today?
I'll do whatever you want.
Whatever.
I know I'm doing Mystery. I think,
yeah. You're going to do Mystery. That's right. Yeah. Such a great song that you co-wrote with Ben Schofield and Meredith Andrews. Mm-hmm. And we're so privileged to be working with you on that. And man, we're just excited. We love our partnership. I just love your heart, as we've been talking about today, because it's beyond your talent. You are someone who really longs to connect people in their own worship and in a unique way, and with the Spirit of God for them. So, man, we're looking forward to this song. Thanks for being with us today.
Absolutely. Anytime. Looking forward to the next one.
All right, you guys. Clark Beckham is a dear friend and an immense talent, and someone that will bless you. If you want to do a special event at your church, if you want to bring in Clark, he will do nothing but bless you. He's so easy to work with. He's just going to come in and pour it out. So if you're a worship pastor, go ahead and check out Clark's music. You can reach him. We're going to put his website in the show notes today, and reach out and bring him out to your church. Do a special worship weekend. Let him teach. Let him be the tour guide for your team. He'll do nothing but bless you. I want to remind you that we have 3 mini courses: Songwriting from Scratch, A Songwriter's Guide to Modern Chords, and Sing It Like You Mean It, Authentic Singing at Nashville. ChristianSongwriters.com. You can find those links in the show notes below. Check out on all of the DSPs the song Mystery, the new album and songs coming out, the acoustic worship sessions. You're going to love what Clark is all about. Also, again, in the show notes, we have a free download for you today. It is the NCS Complete Songwriting Guide. I want you to check that out and just go over to our website. It is such a robust site at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com. And if you're someone who would like to check out NCS Community, we meet every week on Tuesdays at 11:30 Central. We encourage, we bring information, inspiration. Our coaches join us. We have song critique. It's a global fellowship of dedicated Christian songwriters. We love being with you each week. Again, please help us share the love. Like, share, spread Song Revolution to the world, because we're all about empowering you to fulfill your calling to write great songs, to become a great artist for Jesus, because he's changed our lives and we know he's changed yours too. I'm going to give a shout out to Kyle Kicker behind the scenes today. He is our podcast editor and producer and is doing such a great job. All the great staff here at NCS. We're here to empower you. So you guys have a great day. Here's Clark Beckham doing Mystery.
You put the planets into motion. You flung the stars into the sky. You set the tide inside the ocean. You poured the morning from the night. You're the author of the universe. Still my story is the one you write. Sent your son because you love me first. Now I'm yours and you are mine. You're the beginning and the end, and everything between. You hold it all inside your hands, and you hear my heartbeat. You are infinite, and I can't comprehend. Oh, what a mystery that you are me. We barely even scratched the surface to know the depths of who you are. All you create reveals your purpose, to reconcile us to your heart. You're the author of the universe. Still my story is the one you write. Sent your son because you love me first. Now I'm yours and you are mine. You're the beginning and the end, and everything between. You hold it all inside your hand, and you hear my heartbeat. You are infinite, and I can't comprehend. Oh, what a mystery that you are me. Oh, you're the great I am, and you hold all this rock I stand. You are holding me. You're the great I am, and you hold all things. On this rock I stand. You are holding me. You're the great I am, and you hold all things. On this rock I stand. You are holding me. You're the great I am. You hold all things. On this rock I stand. You are holding me. 'Cause you're the beginning and the end, and everything between. You hold it all inside your hands, and you hear my heartbeat. You are infinite, oh, and I can't comprehend. Oh, what a mystery that you want me. Oh, that you want me.
Hey, thanks for joining us on today's episode. Be sure to check out all the information below in the show notes, and be sure to like and share. We'll see you next time.